Brachos Daf Nun Hey is the daf of the lists and the dreams. The Gemara is in the middle of a list of lists, various different lists of things which make a person's life longer, a person's life shorter, things which are healthy, things which cause health problems. The Gemara will have a list of things which only Hashem controls himself, things which you need special Rahmanas for. The Gemara will then get into a description of wisdom and Betzalel, who built the Mishkan, and then we'll go into dreams. It's one of the lists, and then we will launch into dreams themselves, when they are good, when they're bad, who gets them, who does not get them, when you should be concerned about them, when they're nonsense, and that'll take us to the end of the daf. This is a very long daf, but we'll try to get through it in our 20 minutes. So we were in the middle of a list which was, Rabbi Yehuda said that there are three things which make a person's life longer, and that is somebody who is extensive in his prayer, in his sitting at his table, and in his use of the bathroom. So we're up to the second one. It extends a person's life if he sits at the table for a long time. The Gemara says that's because he's sitting there and he's waiting for a poor person to come. And we can see this from the following pasuk, which says HaMizbeach Eitz Shalosh Amos, and later it says Shulchan Asher Lefnei Hashem. So it starts about talking about the Mizbeach and ends up calling it the table. So which is it, a Mizbeach or a table? So where it says, what it means is that you're, in the days where the Beis Hamikdash stood, we had the Mizbeach which atoned for our Averis. Now we have our table which atones for our Averis. How so? If you stay there for a long time so that a poor person can come and you'll feed him, that takes off your Averis. Now the next thing on the list was somebody spends a long time in the bathroom. So Gemara says, are you sure that that's a good idea? But we have a brisa that says there's a list of 10 things which cause hemorrhoids, and they are: number 1, somebody who eats the leaves of reeds; number 2, leaves of grapevines; 3 is shoots of grapevines; 4 is any animal flesh which is not smooth, it has ridges or lumps to it; the spine of a fish; a salted fish that wasn't cooked all the way; somebody who drinks the dregs of wine; somebody who cleans himself after using the restroom with lime, or with a pottery shard, or with a rock that somebody else used to clean himself with. And then the final thing is somebody who is what the Gemara calls suspends himself in the bathroom. So the Gemara understands this as this means that he takes a long time. The Gemara says no. Taking a long time is good. This person was doing something else. He was squatting instead of being seated normally. So if you squat and you take a long time, then it'll cause hemorrhoids. But if you just sit normally and you take a long time, it'll be fine. Now the Gemara quotes an incident to support the fact that staying in the bathroom for a long time is very helpful. The Gemara says that there was a Roman noblewoman who said to Rabbi Yehuda bar Ilai, he said, your face is radiant. You must be either a pig farmer or somebody who lends money with interest, because those people don't have to work too hard. Pigs eat trash, so it's not hard to feed them, and interest is just free money. So he said, no, those two things are us, I don't do either of those. The reason why I look so healthy is because there are 24 bathrooms between my house and the Beis Medrash. It's not his house, it's where he stays. It's his hotel, kind of, and the Beis Medrash. And on my way, I stop in each of the bathrooms and I check myself to make sure that I don't need to use the bathroom. Therefore, I'm very healthy. Okay, so now we go on to the next list. 3 things that shorten a person's life. Rabbi Yehuda said, number 1, somebody who's given a Torah scroll and he doesn't read from it. Somebody who's given kosher bracha and he doesn't drink from it. And somebody who, or he has the kais and he refuses to say the bracha over it, and somebody who takes on a position of authority. Now the Gemara will give a source for each of these. You took a Sefer Torah, you didn't read from it, because it says, the Torah is the length of your days. Don't read from it, you shorten your days. Kais shel bracha, because it says, I'll bless those who bless you. If you take the cup, you'll be saying a bracha on your host. But you don't say bracha on your host, you won't get the bracha. And heirs of authority, well, look what happened to Yosef Atzadik. He became king, and he was the first of his brothers to die, even though he was one of the youngest. Okay, now the Gemara says, Rabbi Yehuda said the next list is 3 things which require HaKadosh Baruch Hu's mercy, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu has direct control over them. That is having a good year, meaning a good year of crops, having a good king, and having a good dream. Source for each of these: good king, it says, Hashem controls king's hearts like he controls, like a hand controls the flow of water. A good year, like it says, Hashem is always watching the land. Hashem's eyes are on the land. He determines its quality of growth. And a good dream, and this is going to launch us into the subject of dreams later, because it says, you gave me a dream, you give me life. Next list. Rabbi Yochanan says is a list of 3 things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu controls himself, and he proclaims them. He calls them out. And these are Rav, whenever there's a famine; Soiva, whenever there's plenty of food; and Parnas Tov, a good leader of the community. Now the Gemara is going to give a source for each of these. The source will be where we have each of these things mentioned along with Hashem calling, Hashem announcing. So, Rav, a famine, it says, Ki kara Hashem l'Rav, Hashem calls out the famine. Seiva, plenty, because it says, V'karasi, it said, Dagon, I call the grain, and I increase it. And a good leader, like Hashem says, Rei karasi b'shem B'Tzalel, I have called B'Tzalel, I have appointed him to lead the community and build the Beis HaMikdash. Now the Gemara launches into a discussion about appointing a leader over the community and then B'Tzalel. The Gemara says, Rabbi Yitzchak says you should never appoint a leader without consulting the community itself. Like, look, you see what happened. Hashem asked Moshe Rabbeinu, here's B'Tzalel, I think he's good for the job. Do you? Moshe said, what's my opinion? If you think he's good for the job, so what else is there to talk about? He said, no. I want your opinion, and I want you to get Klal Yisrael's opinion. So he went and he asked Klal Yisrael, he said, do you think B'Tzalel is appropriate to be the one to collect the money and build the Mishkan and everything in it? So they said, well, if you think he's good and Hashem thinks he's good, what are you asking us for? No, certainly he's good. You can appoint him by all means. Now we go further discussing B'Tzalel. The Gemara says B'Tzalel, the name B'Tzalel is a contraction of the words B'Tzel, Kel, in the shadow of God himself. And the reason why he got that name, because his wisdom was so great, he was able to understand things almost as if he was sitting there when Hashem spoke to him, because it's as follows. When Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu to build the Mishkan, he first said build the Mishkan, and then he said build the Kalim that are in it, the Aron and the other things. But when Moshe said to B'Tzalel, he reversed the order. If you look in the Psukim in Truma where it describes it, Moshe tells B'Tzalel first about the vessels that he's supposed to build, and then he says about the Mishkan. So B'Tzalel says, is that the normal way that we do things? First you build the furniture and then you build the house. We're not going to put the furniture until we have the house up. Maybe, is it possible that Hashem said first build the Mishkan and then afterwards build the Kalim? And Moshe Rabbeinu said, you're right. With your wisdom, it's almost like you were sitting in the shadow of God and you heard him say this. Okay, now the Gemara says more about B'Tzalel. B'Tzalel was able to create things by means of manipulating the letters of the alphabet that Hashem used to create the world. How do you know? Because in the pasuk describing the creation of the world, it uses the word Chachma. That says by B'Tzalel. And creating the world, it says B'Chachma Yasad Aretz Kainin Shemayim B'Suna. With wisdom, Hashem created the earth and set up the heavens with understanding. Okay, now once we're on the subject of wisdom, let's say some more about it. Rebbe says you can only give wisdom to the wise, like it says in Sefer Daniel. Therefore, this will be in Aramaic. He gives wisdom to the wise, and understanding to those who have understanding. And the Gemara says Rav Tachlifa says they have another source for this. Rav Tachlifa said this in front of Rabbi Abahu, who said he has another source for this. It says, "Believe kochacham leiv nasati chachama." In the hearts of all those that are wise-hearted, I have put wisdom. Okay. Now the Gemara discusses dreams. And we're going to be discussing dreams pretty much for the rest of the daf, which will go on for quite a while. So Rav Chisda says, you always want to see either a dream, any dream is good, but not a dream about fasting. That's a bad sign. You don't want to dream that you are fasting. Then the Gemara says also, Rav Chisda says that if you don't interpret your dream, it's like a letter that you haven't read. Now the Gemara much further on will explain this. The meaning of a dream follows how you interpret it. It does not have an innate dreaming. However you interpret it is what it predicts. So if you don't interpret it, so it's like you never open the letter. There is no prediction. It doesn't say anything. Okay, now the Gemara says there is no dream that is filled in its entirety. A good dream is not always fulfilled all the way, and a bad dream is not fulfilled all the way to the bad, because every dream contains a little bit of nonsense in it that was added in by your experiences during the day. Now the Gemara says, you know what? As a matter of fact, if you have a bad dream, you'll be so upset about it, that itself will fulfill the dream. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. In the same way, if you have a good dream, you'll be so excited about the good things that are about to happen that you just had, a very positive experience. That itself will fulfill your dream. The Gemara says that Rabbi Yosef said, for me, I got so much joy from a good dream that it was exactly fulfilling my dream. I didn't even have a prediction anymore that anything else good was going to happen. Now, Rashi explains that Rabbi Yosef was blind and did not have many positive experiences, joyful experiences that he could have. Now the Gemara says some other things about dreams. Rav Yosef says a dream is, Rav Chisda said that a good dream is not as good as a bad dream. A bad dream is great, because a bad dream makes a person do tshuva. A good dream, Okay, now Rav Chisda says more. seeing a bad dream is more important than getting whipped, getting malchus, because malchus moves a person away from Averis to some extent, but having a good bad dream that scares you good, that knocks the fear of God into you. Like it says, Hashem made dreams so that you should fear Him. The Gemara now quotes a pasuk from Sefer Yirmiyah, which supports the idea that every dream has a little bit of nonsense mixed in. Yirmiyah here is describing the difference between false prophets and true prophets. And he says, in the name of Hashem, Hanavi Asher Itoi Chaloim Yisaper Chaloim. The prophet with a dream tells a dream, meaning a false one, he's just full of dreams. What he tells you is just a dream. But the one who has my word, Yidaber Dvari Emes, will speak the word of truth. And then it says, Malat Heaven Es Habar, how can the shaft, the husks, be mixed in with the wheat? So the Gemara explains this homiletically. The Gemara says, what does Tevin and what does wheat and chaff have to do with dreams? What's going on? Well, just like there's garbage mixed into the wheat, there's also garbage mixed into your dreams. Alright, the Gemara continues with this idea of Barachos says every dream that comes true will have some parts of it that won't be true. You can never have in a dream be fully true. Where it says, look at the story of Yosef. Yosef's dreams were the greatest dreams that came true. Yet he also dreamed that his mother was going to bow down to him. His mother did not bow down to him because she was not alive. Now, we know the Medrash says that was referring to Bilhah, but this Gemara apparently doesn't hold that way. And in fact, it is entirely possible that Bilhah also passed away before she ever met Yosef in Mitzrayim, meaning she never met him in Mitzrayim. Now the Gemara says, Reb Levi says, if you get a dream, you shouldn't give up on it. It could take even up to 22 years to be fulfilled. Because look, Yosef's dream didn't get fulfilled until he was 22. Look at the Psukim, what he said before Paro, it says he was 30 years old. When he left his father's house, he was 17 years old. So 13 years went by there. And then there were another 7 years of plenty, and there was 2 years of the famine before the brothers arrived. So that's another 9 years. So it's 22 years. It took 22 years for his dreams to be fulfilled. Okay, now the Gemara says an interesting thing. Rav Huna says that you only show good dreams to bad people and bad dreams to good people. Why? Because the good people will use their bad dreams to turn them to tshuva, and bad people will use their good dreams so that they get their reward in this world. That'll make them be very merry. And the Gemara says I have a problem with this because there's a brisa. The brisa says that all the years that David HaMelech was alive, he did not see a good dream. And all the years that Achitofel was the head of Sanhedrin, but he was also a Rasha, and he ended up joining Avshalom against David. All the years that Achitofel was alive, he didn't see a bad dream. Now, okay, so that supports Rav Huna. But it does say that about a good person, it says, nothing bad will happen to you. And Rav Chizda, the name of Yirmiyah Bar Abba, explained that meaning you won't have bad thoughts, you won't have bad dreams. So we're blessing that a good person won't have a bad dream. That's the opposite. Rav Huna said that a good person will only have bad dreams. The Gemara says the end of the pasuk over there says, a plague will not come near your tent. That's another blessing for a righteous man. The Gemara says that means that if somebody comes home from a long trip, he won't find his wife in a state of suffik nida, not clear what the halacha is if she's in nida or not. That's the worst, because if she's in nida, okay, she's in nida, what can you do? You're not happy about it. But if she's not in nida, so fine. If she's a suffik nida and he just came home from a long trip, so he has a very strong taiva on one hand because he just came home, and she's not for sure usher. On the other hand, he can't really be with her. I mean, mitzvahs aina because she might be a nida, so he has to be machmir, and he has the strongest yitzhar. So anyway, we have a problem over here that Rav Huna had said that a good person will only have bad dreams, and then we had this explanation in the Tehillim, which seems to say that a good person will not have bad dreams. So how do you resolve it? So the Gemara wants to say that, okay, he's going to have bad dreams, but he's not going to dream them. Other people will dream them, and they will tell him about it. That way he'll do tshuva because of them, but he will not have to experience the bad dreams. So the Gemara says, well, hold on a second. I mean, he's not going to have any dreams at all, because a good dream is for sure not going to happen. We said that's for Rishayim, and now you're telling me he's not going to have a bad dream either. But that can't be, because we have a drasha that somebody doesn't have any dream at all for 7 days. It's called a rasha, like it says, V'sovea yalin bal yipaked ra. We have a drasha, Sheva yalin, 7 sleeping nights, and he bal yipaked, he's not given a dream, so ra, is called evil. So Gemara says, okay, here's what's going to happen. He's going to have dreams, but he's not going to remember them. So he won't have knowledge of his bad dreams. That way he will not have that negative experience. Now the Gemara says, what should you do if you have a bad dream? So the Gemara advises, Rav Huna bar Ami says in the name of Rav Padas, you should go find 3 people to interpret it for the good. So the Gemara says, why should I do that? You told me that if nobody interprets it, nothing will happen, right? We said earlier that the interpretation is what will happen. But if there's no interpretation, nothing's going to happen, so you have no issue at all. So the Gemara says, no, what you should do is you should go to 3 people and do something called Hatavas Chalaim. You should remedy the dream. So the Gemara says, what's the formula? You bring 3 people and you say, oh, my dream was good. And they say to you, your dream was good. Your dream was good. It should be good, and it was good, and may Hashem, the merciful one, make it to be a good dream. And then you should say 7 times, and it should be decreed upon you good things from Shemayim. And it will be good. The Gemara says now, and those people that are there should add psukim. They should add 3 psukim which discuss changing things over from one to another. And they should discuss 3 psukim that talk about redemption and 3 psukim that talk about peace. The Gemara will now list the 9 psukim, and they are as follows. Number 1, we have 3 psukim that talk about changing things from bad to good. So it says, you have turned over my mourning to joy, you opened my bag and filled me up with joy. Next, and then the girls and the boys will rejoice together with the old men. I will turn over their mourning to joy. Third, Hashem didn't want to listen to Bilam, and he turned his curses into blessings. Now we have 3 psukim about redemption. Redeem in peace my soul. Peduye Hashem Yeshuv Nabo Tzion Berina. Those redeemed by Hashem will come to Tzion in joy. And then we have that whole story where Shaul wanted to kill Yonasan, and the people said no, he didn't know that he wasn't supposed to eat. Shaul had made them swear that they're not going to eat, but Yonasan hadn't heard. It says Vayiftu ha'ames Yonasan v'lei meis, and the people redeemed Yonasan by doing that. Now we have 3 psukim about peace. Bari nivs v'sayim shalom shalom l'rachak v'lakarev amar Hashem v'rafasiv ruach lavshes amoshe roish hashalishim l'chol David v'imcha ben Yishai shalom shalom l'chol v'shalom l'ezrecha k'hazarcha l'kim v'yikam David v'yinachim v'rosh yakidud. And third one is v'amartim k'ay l'chay v'ato shalom v'yizcha shalom v'chal asher l'cha shalom. Now the Gemara quotes an incident that happened that also starts with dreams and then moves on to other subjects. The Gemara says that Amemar, Marzush, and Ravashi were sitting together and they said, you know what, let everybody teach something that the others have never heard. So the first one spoke and he said as follows: somebody who had a dream, but he doesn't know what it is, doesn't know if it's good or bad, doesn't know what the story is. So he should stand in front of the Kahanim when they're doing Brachos Kahanim, and he should say the following thing, and this is what we say. It's printed in the Siddurim. You should say, Rabban Shalom, Master of the universe, Anishacha v'chalamoisei shachaim, yours my dreams, yours, chalam chalamte, I dreamed the dream, v'eni yedei amaya, I don't know what it is. Ben shachalamte alatzim, whether I dreamed about myself, ben shacholmu li chavirai, whether others dreamed of me, ben shachalamte al acherim, or I dreamed about others. Im taivim heim, if they're good, chaskim v'amsim, strengthen them and fortify them, kechalamoisei shal Yosef atzadik, like the dreams of Yosef. But if they require a recovery, refaim k'mei mara yedei Moshe, then cure them like Moshe healed the waters of Mara, and Miriam was cured from her tzara. And like Chizkiyahu, the king of Yehuda, from his illness, Elisha, and like the waters of Yericho, which were healed by Isha. Just like you changed the curse of Bilam to bracha, you should transform all my dreams to good. And then he says you should try to finish it together with the Kahanim so that the Amin that everybody says goes on them and on what you said. And if you can't manage to do that, add something. Add mighty one on high, he who dwells in power. You are peace, your name is peace. Shalom, may it be your will that you grant us peace. Nowadays we say this every time in Chutz La'aretz because we only have Kahanim doing Brachos Kahanim a couple of times a year, not every day, like they did then and like they do still in Eretz Yisrael. Now the second Gemara began to speak. He said the following thing: somebody's traveling into the city and he's afraid there'll be an ayin hara on him because people will see what he has. Over there's a lot of people, and he'll get Nayan Hara. He doesn't want to get Nayan Hara. What should he do? So he should interlock his hands together, with each hand holding the thumb of the other hand, and he should say the following thing: I am a descendant of Yosef, and Ayin Hara has no power of Yosef, like it says, Ben Peroz Yosef. Yosef is a charming child, Ali Oyin, above the eye, which we have a drush which says above the evil eye. Also, about him it says, V'yidgu la'oiv, he should proliferate like fish. Fish are hidden from the evil eye because they're under the water. So I'm also protected from evil eye. And if he's afraid that other people will be victimized by his evil eye, he should make sure to only look at his own left nostril. Okay, third Amayra said, here's what I'm going to teach you. If somebody is sick, not feeling well, he shouldn't tell anybody about it, because that would make things worse for him. Why would it do that? By speaking about bad things that happen to you, it will make the Satan bring testimony against you in Shemayim. However, from the second day and on, you should tell people about it, that they should be able to be mispalel for you, and your sickness isn't going to get worse because of that. I think one has an interesting story. What Rava used to do is when he got sick, first day he was quiet, didn't say anything, and afterwards he would tell his servant, go announce it in the street. Those who like me, they'll make sure to pray for me, and those who hate me will rejoice, and they'll gloat. And you know what the pasuk says? It says, don't rejoice when your enemy has a downfall, because then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be upset with you. So maybe what will happen is people that hate me will be happy that I'm sick, and they'll rejoice, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will turn his anger from me to them. That'll help me be cured. Okay, now what happens when you have a bad dream? So another piece of advice here, Shmuel says you should say Chalaimos Hashav Yidaberu. It's Hashav, that's important. And that is a pasuk in Sefer Zechariah. Now, when he had a good dream, Shmuel would say V'chi Chalaimos Hashav Yidaberu. You think they speak bad? Well, the hey there implies that it's not true. Oh no, it says that I speak to people through dreams. So this dream is a nevuah, not a nonsense. And the Gemara says, hold on a second, those two psukim are contradictory. You said Chalem is talk nonsense, and you said I speak. The Gemara says not a contradiction. Two types of dreams. Some are brought by a malach, those are prophecies, and some are brought by a shade, a demon, those are nonsense. Now the Gemara says that a single dream could have many different levels of truth. The Gemara quotes of Bizna Bar Zav, the name of Rabbi Kiva, who said the name of Panda, the name of Nachum, the name of Biriam, in the name of one old man who was Rav Binah. And he said as follows: there were 24 people in Yerushalayim used to interpret dreams. Once I had a dream, and I went to all 24 of them, and they each told me a different interpretation. Guess which one happened? All of them, because it's the interpretation that makes it happen, and it's not the dream itself. And it's a pasuk that says that. The Gemara says the pasuk says that. Where does the pasuk say that it's the interpretation that makes it happen? The Gemara says it's simple. Look what happened that Yosef said about the dreams of the people who were with him in jail, the Sar HaMashkim and the Sar HaOivim. It says Vahi kasher pasalanu kein hayah, like he interpreted for us. That's what happened. That's what the Sar HaMashkim said to Paroi. So you see that it's his interpretation that made it happen. The Gemara says that not so fast. Not any interpretation. Your interpretation has to make sense in the dream, because it says that his interpretation was Ish kachalei moisoi pasar. He interpreted our dreams in accordance with our actual dream. His interpretation matched. Now the Gemara says that after Yosef interpreted the dream of the Sar HaMashkim, he says, the Sarayim said, oh, that was a good interpretation. So the Gemara says, how did he know it was a good interpretation? Maybe it was a baloney interpretation. The Gemara says, each one with their own dream dreamed the interpretation of the other one's dream. And apparently they didn't want to reveal it to each other, but they knew that it was the correct interpretation. Okay, now the Gemara says, there's other ways to tell the future. If you wake up with a pasuk on your lips, that pasuk is a minor prophecy for the future. And where it says that there are three types of dreams that are true. One is a dream which happens just before the morning. One is a dream that somebody else had about you. And the third is a dream which is repeated twice in one night. That is a serious dream. Now the Gemara quotes some who say that dreams are total nonsense. Shmuel Bar Nachman said in the name of Yonason, a dream is just what you were thinking about during the day. Like it says, you dream at night what you were thinking about during the day. Another source for that, you know what you were thinking about. And the Gemara says, I'll prove it to you, because you ever dream about a gold palm tree or an elephant climbing through the eye of a needle? No, you never did. You know why? Because you never thought about that during the day. So you see that the only things that you dream are things you think about during the day.